anyone know where Fiji is? Has anyone heard of Fiji? Ah, good. Rugby. But you know what? Kenya beat us in the recent Singapore Sevens. But we are still 2 times Olympic champions. Anyway, it's been really wonderful to be here and to see the collaboration and support from each other in the universities and also from the Ministry of Education and other universities and the communities and children. Briefly on Fiji. Fiji is a dot in the world map. It's not a continent, but they've decided to create, to name it a continent with several other Pacific Island countries and name the continent Oceania. So we are surrounded by one of the biggest oceans in the world. If you know where Australia and New Zealand are, we are in between. But we are a dot. You can't find us, but you can find me. I'm right here. So Fiji has only about 900,000, the population is about 900,000, and we have a temperate climate. It's summer all year round. We don't experience winter. And we have variation in relief structure of our islands. We have some volcanic islands as well as coral atolls. So we are small, and that makes us very vulnerable to climate change. We have about 300 islands, but these are small islands, and more than half of them are uninhabited. So don't ask me for one island, because I don't own any of them. But though we are small, we are thankful to Professor Tristan and the Climate U for identifying us and involving us in the Climate U project. I was going to show a video, but I don't have enough time. But maybe when you have time, Jeremy and Lincoln might want to share the video. This video was shown in COP26 last year. It was the voice of the people, of the community that we are working with. We're working with a coastal community whose environment, land as well as the sea or marine resources have been affected due to sea level rise and also from the increasing temperature. So the video was a way of giving the voice to the people so that people around the world, especially our world leaders, to hear about their plight as well as what they're doing to mitigate and adapt to the changes. I'm happy to say that in the past 6 months we've been working with them, storing talanoa, the Fijian word for it, discussing about how climate change has affected them and what they're doing to adapt as well as what we can do. So PAR is a collaboration between the community. It's more a bottom-up approach, as we heard this morning, but we're using the weaving approach, right, where we come together with a common understanding on what climate change is, what are the impacts, and what we can do as a group of people to mitigate so that our people and our places can survive. So with the PAR that we have been doing, we've published papers, not only to be decoration, but we've also created some video documentaries by the children that we work with, as well as the communities. It's out on YouTube, and maybe we'll share the link, and you'll be able to watch them. So the main purpose was not only to help the community restore its watershed, but also its resources, and empower them on what climate change is, what we can do to mitigate, as I have mentioned earlier. We are using a multi-sectoral collaborative approach, as KU is doing, where we collaborate with the different ministries, Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Forestry, as well as our alumni and current students, and the communities, including children, as you are doing here. And I'm happy to say that currently we are in the final edit of 30 big books that our participants from the community that we are working in wrote, right? And what's in these big books? Stories about their history, their journey, their climate experiences, as well as their traditional or indigenous knowledge and cultural values, right? So we do that not only to publish books, but it is also to maintain the knowledge and use them, not only for our children now, but for those who will follow us. Climate change is a complex issue. It's difficult to understand. So if there is no climate literacy and learning, there will be no change or transformation in behavior, right? We play a very important role, right? So we will not have climate-ready people who can mitigate or adapt to climate change if we don't have climate literacy and climate justice. So our people need us. Our people need you and me. They look up to you and me as educators, as researchers, as students, and as members of the community. And they depend on us to partner with them in building a better world for everyone. So, with those words, congratulations KU and Dr. Rere for your Green Education Hub, and we wish you well, as well as give you blessings and manna from your sister countries and universities. Now, Alex asked me to say, what am I going to take back with me?
Keep that with you. I'm going to bring you back to say a few words about that.
Okay, so thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you, and I hope that you will continue to collaborate with each other and with us as well in the fight against climate change.
Great, thank you, Rosie. Wonderful, thank you so much. All right, so I can see there are a few more people in the room, but also that we are a bit tired, I don't know, after the tea. So I would like you to stand up. I would like you to bear with me a little bit. So if you can stand up, shake a little bit. I can see people in the back of the room. Please stand up. And I'm going to say climate, you say you. All right? Climate? You. Climate? You. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Because climate is not about you, it's about us. So I'm going to say climate, you say us. All right? Climate? Us. Climate? Us. Okay, that's better. Okay, we can sit down now. All right, thank you. So, okay, now that we know that it's about us, we need now to hear from you what you are doing. Because we like to learn from you. We want to be inspired by the activities that you're doing. We're going to have a lot of listening ears. I told my daughter about listening ears. We're going to have our listening ears now. And we're going to come back to you and say what we want to take from all of your experience, what we're going to take with us to Brazil, to Fiji, to the UK. So, to start our journey through your activities, I would like to ask Art Therapy by Lodi. Lodi is going to say a few words. Is Lodi in the room? Yes, fantastic. And I'll bring my microphone, and then you can say a few words about you. You'd like to come here in front? Maybe it's better. 5 minutes on what you're doing with your work. Please, let's acknowledge our colleague. But also, tell us what you expect from the university, from others, to actually help you to continue doing your work and make it more meaningful. So share with us some thoughts. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'll start by introducing my group. It's called Art Therapy. It's a youth-based mental health group. We deal with mental health by using art as a better means of, so we try to, how will I explain it? We use art as a form of therapy in our group. we enlighten others, or we try to share what we believe in, or what we believe can change everyone or something about us through art. So working with Green Hub Education, art therapy has taken a major role in creating climate change awareness. Through us, we use art, which is our major form in communication. So, like as you can see, the works which our members have worked on. I believe art is a communicating platform, and we can use art to communicate to many people across on what we think can change, or how we think we can change our world. Because as I can use one example of one of our paints. I know many of us will view this image differently, but I believe there's one thing we can all pick. From this picture, it brings something about believing in something, like any small difference matters. It doesn't matter how you do it or who you're doing it with, but even a small difference matters. You can plant a tree today and it will make a difference tomorrow. So anything small matters. I don't think I have very much to say. And
wonderful. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Wonderful. Congratulations. Brilliant. I think we're going to go to our second experience, which is this Swahili Stadia. And I think Maina, Steve, or Charles Mongo is going to come and share a few words. So yes, can we appreciate our colleague? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm waiting for Charles. Charles wearing the Swahili Stadia t-shirt. Thank you. First, we want to welcome all of you to this, the most prestigious university in Sub-Saharan Africa. Go tell them that. Yeah. So in light of this, we run an organization called Swahili Stadia. Swahili is a language in Africa, and recently, it's been ratified as a working language across Africa. Africa has 1 billion speakers, so we can teach them Swahili here. Swahili Stadia is also involved in the dissemination of Swahili lessons to elementary level students through digital publications all across Africa. So whenever you hear Swahili, you remember Swahili Stadia. Now, what do we do? For now, we have been writing children's books, and we want to use language as a vehicle to carry the message on climate awareness. I will introduce the content creator, our lead content creator and co-founder. His name is Charles Mogo. He leads with the Swahili department. I'm only IT. So obrigado for coming here. And let me hand over the baton to Charles. Thank you.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank the institution, Kenyatta University, a very great institution you can ever get. I think this is the first time I'm speaking using English, because I realize we have a lot of visitors here. I'm very, very happy that you are here to focus on this very, very important document, or a very, very important aspect of Climate U, just being launched here in Kenyatta University. So we are a member of Swahili Stadia, as he has said. So we do focus on writing books concerning climate. As we know that the rate of temperature in the world is increasing all over. I think you remember the Paris climate change in 2015, where they are proposing they want to shift it from 2.0 to 1.5. So are we going to achieve that? Let's see. Are we going to achieve that? From 2.0 to 1.5? So we need commitment from the members. As a Swahili Stadia, we are writing on that. We are writing books focusing on the student. Those elementary, we want to teach them about environment. But then, you know the challenges focusing on the COVID-19. So we also have some challenges here and there, but we are trying to make sure we are hard on that so that we can focus on teaching students online also. For those guys in YouTube, you can find us as Swahili Stadia if you search. Swahili Study, as you can see on my T-shirt here. We're also on Facebook, Swahili Study, Twitter, Swahili Study. We're also on Instagram, Swahili Study. So we are all over in Swahili Study. So we are focusing on teaching students online, and not just online teaching, it's teaching also on issues concerning environment. So we are here to support this launch. I'm very, very happy for Madam Nyerere, Dr. Nyerere, very, very important. Thank you for the work you've been doing, and we hope you'll be doing more and more. Remember this is just a start. This is just a start. Be very, very careful. This is just a start. We are going to do more than what we expect. I do appreciate everything. Thank you, Kenyatta University. Thank you, our visitors. And thank you, Dr. Nyerere.
Closing remark. Among the many people who we are going to be writing stories about, remember, whenever we write stories about people who exist in the real world, in our immediate environment, it creates more impact. My favorite author is Ngoge wa Thiong'o. He is a future Nobel winning writer. He's my favorite author because I know he's from Kenya. Okay, so I'll allow Violet to stand. Violet is writing, she's my guest from the University of Nairobi. She's doing projects, please, yeah. She impressed us with a project on sustainable farming. So we are trying to write a story on her, and we know that if children listen and get to learn about Violet, they are going to be more inspired to make more commitment to the climate awareness. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. This is amazing to see all these stories of getting change happening in our communities and our universities. Let's go quite quickly now because we are running a bit of time. But can I invite the Kenyatta University Environmental Club, William and Ken, to say a few words about their initiative? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kennedy, or you can just call me Ken, and I am a chairperson at Kenyatta University Environmental Club. Also, his name is William. I think he introduced himself. Kenyatta University Environmental Club is basically an environmental club which promotes environmentalism, as well as it also promotes environmental activities, and we've had some tremendous achievements this year. For example, during the 2022 Mazingira Challenge, we were able to plant 1,500 trees within Kenyatta University. Also, we were able to raise awareness on climate change, on wetlands conservation. We were partnering with Wetlands Restoration Initiative, and we were able to visit Nairobi River. Actually, right now we are planning for a project with them. And finally, we partnered with Climate U before the launching of this activity through a football match where we were able to raise awareness on climate change. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Makovan William Eoi, the congressperson, the School of Environment, Kenyatta University, also the Secretary General for the Kunik, Kenyatta University Environmental Club. So in front of you is a Kunik representative. The Kenyatta University Environmental Club was formed in 1992. So that's when the Kenyatta University Environmental Club was formed. And currently to this far, as a club, we have been able to plant over 6,012 trees within the campus. So, yeah, so that's the great achievement. We are still having this to take over from our partners, the KU, Climate U. We are still going to plant more trees. So we want to beat, by the end of this year, we want to beat a target of 8,000 trees and 8,040 trees at the end of this year. So currently, Kenyatta University is having 18 schools. The 18 schools, some of the schools are outside the compound satellite campuses, so we want also to extend our hand to the outside. We have one in Coast, Mombasa, we have others at Kitui, others at Nakuru. With the support of the Climate U, which have been a good partners with us, we are going to achieve more. Thank you so much for the project ambassadors, we are more honored to have you. Feel free to be at KU. We welcome you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next time you have a football match, please give me a shout. I would love to join you. And we can maybe get a few other recruits. So let's go now to the Birding Club. We have a presentation by Faith and Jay. Are they with us? We have a lot of fans here, so that's quite good. No expectations?
Hi guys, my name is Faith Hisa from the Birding Club. So what we do most is we carry out birdwatching activities. And in that process, we identify the number of species around Kenyatta University. And so far we've recorded, the highest number we've recorded are 82 species, but it's known to have over 150 bird species. And the KU Arboretum is known to be the richest site to have, it has the richest number of species. It has 50 species. That is because there are a lot of, the environment, it supports them to, it's a conducive environment for birds because there's a stream around it and there are a lot of fruit trees. So why did we decide to do bird watching? We tend to admire birds just because of their beauty, songs, but do we really focus on whether these birds are important in our environment? Yeah. So the answer is birds are very important. Why? Birds will help in seed germination. For instance, the nutcrackers, they crack the seeds, and in that process, that seed will germinate, and it will help in mitigating climate change. Then another thing, birds also help in pollination. For instance, the hummingbird. The hummingbird is well known as a fast and the most bird that it's in a day it can pollinate it can move from different trees. In that case, it will have pollinated and helped in the spread of a lot of tree species. Also, the birds, they are a source of ecotourism. For instance, someone can travel from outside the world to just come and watch a certain bird that is only present in Kenyatta University. And also birds they help in identifying whether an environment is healthy and conducive for survival. For instance, we all know birds cannot survive in an environment that is unhealthy. That means an area that has a lot of birds and has a lot of trees, it can support a lot of many lives. Yeah, that's all. And on Saturday we'll be having the global bird watching activity. So if you are free, you can join us.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So, as an extension of this, as part of our research around KU on birding, we're trying to see on the effects of climate change on birds. So, first of all, there are some three major effects of climate change on birds. One, we are seeing that there's a change in how these birds are migrating because we have the migratory birds and we have those that live just around here. So in the recent past, from what we are seeing, it's there's some delay in the departure, and those coming, they're also delaying. So the effect of this is that by the time they're coming, maybe the seasons are varied because now, for instance, there's the orange bird. For example, it is to come around KU maybe sometime March, and it delays up to maybe April. But then we'll find that the climatic conditions by April have changed. So that's bringing a problem first in their breeding, and then habitat also becomes an issue because of the climate. For example, right now we are seeing so much rainfall around. So this is affecting their breeding. Secondly, we have also seen a problem in the extinction of these birds. because now the climate change issue is rotating around the issue of habitat, feeding, and breeding. So at the end of it all, we are seeing a decrease in the number of birds around KU. So with this project, we believe that as time goes by and as we implement it, we're going to see an improvement on that side, because with this one, we shall be able maybe to plant more trees, and these birds will have a more conducive environment to survive in a better way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What a great opportunity to learn about birds, and I never knew that birds are also taking climate action. So it's fantastic to see that we can join forces in this struggle. So let's go now to Kenyatta University Pantera Scouts movement, where we have Happy, Gloria, and John to say a few words about the activities. Thank you.
Hello, how are you doing? First of all, you're going to start with the Happy Gloria, as she has a presentation. She has a presentation.
My names are Happy Gloria Charlene. I am a Sungura Scout, and I have a project by the name Happy Tree Project. We plant and adopt trees, and we plant and adopt trees with my fellow scouts. And I also have a poem about education. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you. Education, education. Teacher, 1 + 1 is 2. Is education. Pastor, praise the Lord. Is education. Doctor, take 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Is education. Pilot, riding up the sky. Is education. My friend, you are greedy of the offense. Is education. Education, education. Easy to pronounce but hard to get. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But we are scouts and we don't do that in scouting. We don't do that. So kindly, let's stand. Kindly. Hi, we're going to give a yell. So we are going to do this. Aho! Okay? Now we are doing a rehearsal. 1 to go. People at the back, mnatuangusha, you're failing us, you're falling us. Kindly stop. Haya. Aho! Ahoyaya! Aho! Ahoyaya! We call that ayel in scouting. Thank you so much. You may sit down. I have a question to the audience. Who is a youth? Who is a youth? How do you tell someone is a youth? Back at home, kule mashambani, there the countryside, how do you know someone is a youth? Can we have an answer kindly? Yes, there? (18 to 35 years). Here in Kenya, it's someone between the age of 18 years to 35 years old. Sindio? But at the same time, how do you get to know that someone is a youth pale nyumbani? Majority of the youths, they are people in the boda sector. Sasa, those are the many people that even now, even the politicians, we try and tap so that they can try and influence them for political influence. Sindio? But at the same time, what about us graduates? What are we doing even back there at home? People in university, what are you doing? Now when it comes to scouting, there's something we call breaking the stereotypes. Sawa. As you see, here she has a yellow scarf, Sindio? And here I have an orange one. Majority of you here in Kenyatta University, you don't know that in Kenyatta University we have scouts. Sindio, is that true? But at the same time, you say, scouting ni ya watoto. Sawa. I need to break that stereotype today. I am 22 years old, and I am a scout. And we have a Kigogo level, where we have even an 84-year-old scout here in Kenya. Sawa. So kindly, we are trying to to at least create awareness, scouting is not for primary children only. Sawa. Even in university, we have scouting. Now, in scouting, we start from Sungura. This is a Sungura scout. She's in the lowest level, but they are the people who are majority in scouting. Sawa. And this calf means that she's the youngest, but she's one of the most brave scouts here in Kenya. We start from Sungura. A Sungura is a rabbit, a small rabbit, but they keep on growing. We start from Sungura. When you go to Chipukizi, the ones you saw, many of them had the green scarf. Sawa. You go to Chipukizi, then you go to Mwamba. A Mwamba, there are many are those who were in high school. Sawa, and they wear the maroon. Then you go to Jasiri or a Rover Scout. Nondo Sisi. This is us now. Sawa. And majority of us are seated there behind, but they're part of us and we appreciate them so much because they at least raise the Kenyatta University flag higher and higher. Now, when we have all those sections, we all have programs. As you have heard, she has a project on about SDG 13, climate action. What she does, she actually does rehabilitation of forest. Right now, she's about to start another, she's going to another Nini location. Her current location is at Rongai, Kajiado County. But she'll be going to Kajiado South, Kule Amboseli, Umasaini, the Masai part, where we have Amboseli National Park. Amboseli National Park, as you know, it's near Tanzania, Sindio. And many of the elephants, they do try and cross back to Kenya. And if you know, elephants can do a lot of damage, even in the shambas, the farms. Sawa. But when it comes to the part of the forest of Amboseli National Park, they do try and tamper with a lot of trees. Wanaharibu miti. You even find some of the areas around, when you go for the game drive, you find that some of these parts are so bare. There are no trees, and even the rangers and even some of the community members, they don't even try to do something about it because they believe if you plant a tree here, the following day, utapata, the elephants have already tampered with them. But Sungura Scouts from Kajiado County and from Kenya, the Kenya Scout Association, have joined hands with Happy Tree Project, and we are going now to go back to Amboseli National Park. A piece of it where now it's no longer a corridor for the elephants. So the elephants went to another side. They are no longer going through this route. Now they are going to the other side. So this side where they left, we want to try our best with the help of even the local community members. We try and rehabilitate that place. The best thing is the Kenya Wildlife Service there at Amboseli National Park, they actually give us the seedlings. This is the reason why. When we come with some trees from outside there, watu wananunua kwa barabara, you take them to the national park. What happens is, some of these trees, they do try and fight for the nutrients and even some of the nutrients there. So you find the ones that were there, they don't get an enough share. So the ones that you brought, they're getting most of the nutrients. And so many of the trees end up dying. And so we are trying our best to go and reclaim that side and rehabilitate it as scouts. And also here in Kenya, in Kenyatta University, for our scouts, we are starting a project on sanitation. In line with our international badges, we have plastic tide turners. That one we are awarded by the United Nations. We are going to start a sanitation project we are going to take all the plastics and then we are going to reuse them and recycle. Thank you so much and welcome to Pandera Rover Crew. We are here in Kenyatta University. We meet each and every Wednesday there at the Bishop Square. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful poem and also to remind ourselves about the importance of recovery and rehabilitation. That's really important for our climate action. Let's go to our final final club presentation today, which is going to be the KU UNESCO Club, that I think Ian and Lincoln are going to say a few words about that. Let's try to keep it short because we're running really out of time. Thank you so much. Can we appreciate those two guys? Thank you.
All guests and participants, what do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? Thank you so much. My name is Lincoln Mwangi. I come stepping in the shoes of the club chair and for UNESCO Club in Kenyatta University. I'll let my colleague introduce himself and share a few of our progressive projects that are currently ongoing in the university. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Ian Washira. I am a fourth-year student, and more to that, I am the social media manager or the communications manager of Kenyatta University UNESCO Club. This is my chairman over here, and I would love to share so far the actions that we've taken to combat climate change from a small perspective, from our club perspective. So we've been involved in so much. Actually, we've held awareness walks such as the one we had today. We've had such before, from the main gate to Bishop Square, also advocating for climate justice. We have also overseen quite a number of tree planting activities, such as the Mazingira Challenge that was held a month ago. I'm sure most of you were present. We planted trees along the Ngong hostels, and we had a very engaging activity at the BSSC. We also have been part of a plastic bank idea-thon, yes, by B-Skills. It is a project led, starting from Tanzania that tries to cover the whole of East Africa. And the main aim of this project is usually to promote awareness, to raise awareness on climate change and the number of the activities that we can do to combat climate change. And on the same, we had a project that we dubbed the Plastic Bank Initiative. Our key aim was to reduce the amount of plastic being released at a school level. Yes, because we came to see that we have a lot of problem when it comes to plastics being littered everywhere, and we saw that the schools dustbin, as much as they are present everywhere, they are smaller in size. Yes, they do not have the capacity to handle the amount of plastic that we are disposing of on a daily basis. And with that, we came up with the Plastic Idea Bank, which was basically a way which we could utilize the excess plastic being produced. And we are actually undergoing, it's an ongoing project. We want to make bins out of the plastic bottles themselves, so that they can be used to dispose the excess plastic that we are producing, rather than stuffing them in the smaller banks, smaller bins. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, wow, what incredible sets of inputs we got, and what I get from all of this is that universities will only change if the process is led by students. This is where the energy is, and it's incredible to hear all this energy that's going on here. I also take from here that there's a lot of local action. I think Tristan talked a little bit about that. We had our artists talking about local action, but I see big ambition here in the room. A lot of ambition about the scale of the change that needs to happen. So with that in mind, I would like to invite NGO representatives or other actors in the room that can say a few words of how do we actualize this ambition? How do we support the efforts of those students and actually make it more transformative? Do we have some of those? Do we have hands up, please? Thank you. Introduce yourself first. Thank you so much.
Climate. You guys are asleep. Climate. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. Very nice. So my name is Karugu Kyugo. I'm a fourth-year psychology student here at KU. I'm also president of a club known as Amazing Minds, which is a club whose purpose is to promote mental health in our school and in our community. And mental health is very important in the discussion about climate change because our environment and our mental health are very much intertwined. When there's something wrong with the environment, our mental health will be affected. When there's something wrong with our mental health, the environment will be affected as a result. And so what we try to do at Amazing Minds is to create mental health awareness. And we are in this session today because one of the things we tell our people is to adopt meaning in your lives. Dedicate yourself to a cause that is greater than yourself. And this cause you guys are dedicated to is one very important cause to the progress of the world, making sure that we have a better environment. We are also a club that discusses emotion, and I would like us, you mentioned about climate literacy. That's what is lacking in many places in the world. So it's very important that the clubs and NGOs participate in that. And I would like to mention one issue that has been affecting this, lessons and classes and seminars people attend on climate change. We've been dealing with one emotion of fear. Fear is an important emotion. It has brought us here today because we understand what will happen to our environment if we do not take action. It is important because it has created awareness, and now resources are being spent on climate change policies and so on. However, it has had its side effects. Because for most people, especially those people who do not take time to read the actual data, they are being driven by a narrative that is fueled by fear. And for that reason, they only listen to one side of the story. So for example, when we talk about heat waves, for example, people just hear about heat waves and how they are going to kill everybody in the world in about 20 years. Nobody talks about the cold waves, for example. And cold waves kill about 1.7 million people every year. Yet the heat waves kill only about 300,000. Yet we spend a lot of focus on the heat wave. When we talk about polar bears, for example, Al Gore. Al Gore released a documentary some time back, and he showed polar bears, dying or something. And since then, polar bears have become an icon of the climate change narrative. And in reality, guys, polar bears are on the rise. And the greatest threat to polar bears is not actually climate change. It is us, human beings, because we poach them. When you talk about our flora and fauna, we tend to catastrophize and create this alarmist narrative that, the flora and fauna are going to die because of climate change. Yet, 80% of the threat to our plant and animal species are because of our actions as human beings. Overexploitation, overfishing, habitat loss because of urban development and agriculture. So what I would like us to do, because we are the climate change activists, when we teach people and talk about climate change, let us give them the full story. And let us not let people be driven by fear. Because when that happens, in fact, I'm seeing psychologists in the room right now, psychology students. Guys, one of the issues you'll be dealing with your patients is a disorder nowadays known as eco-anxiety or solastalgia. And what is that? That is somebody basically freaking out because the world is going to end in a couple of years. They need therapy. And that is unnecessary, guys. We want people to be aware that we need to take some actions to end what is being called ethnocide. But we do not want people freaking out and seeking therapy because they think the world is going to end. That is unreasonable. So when we talk about climate change, let us give facts wholesomely, not just spread fear. When we talk about California wildfires, let us just not blame that on climate change. Blame that on the PG&E companies that are responsible for these wildfires. So as a mental health advocate and a person who is interested in the truth, I would like us not to be led by fear. Mandela said, the brave man is not he who is not afraid, but he who is able to conquer that fear. So let us conquer that fear as we address climate change. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. That was a great input. We have another person here who wants to provide another input. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Timothy Ndegwa. And I'm here to represent an organization called We Don't Have Time, which I find it timely with this discussion that we're having today. Yes, we're saying we don't have time, which is evident, in our SDG number, is it 13, yeah, where we are calling for climate action. So we are the largest climate review platform, whereby we try to bridge the information gap on matters to do with climate awareness, on matters to do with climate literacy. We have a platform which is actually the biggest, which is based in, our head office is based in Sweden. And we also have an office in United States of America, Washington, DC, and Kenya, which happens to be the African office. So what actually do we do? It's my predecessor was here just said that what is lacking is a literacy. So what we do as a platform, we try to create awareness in form of reviews. Yeah, we try to bridge the information gap, which are anchored in 3 pillars. So one is this one over here. So one is climate love. Yes, with climate love, you get to, write reviews, encouraging people who are doing something good to the environment. People who are, encouraging sustainable lifestyles. People who are encouraging. Okay, people who are, having activities or initiatives that, impact our planet in a positive way. So the other one is climate warning. With climate warning, as the gentleman was just here, we call off organizations, we call off individuals, businesses that, take part in activities that, harm our planet Earth. So, and like a good example is, we try to call off organizations that support fossil fuel, and try to let them aware of how the impact of using fossil fuel has to our planet. And we give them we encourage them, to shift from what they are doing. And the last one is climate idea. So with this kind of review, we give people an opportunity to, come with initiative, with innovations on how best, they can protect the planet. This calls for, people to shift to circular economy as opposed to linear economy. So what is in for us as young people? So with the kind of reviews that we have, it's usually as we foster to call for climate action, we also make it fun, enjoyable, and and interesting, whereby we get to award the best review at the end of the year with a cash prize of 2,500 USD for each category. So I'm inviting all of us as young people to just join the platform, join us. We're on Play Store and Google Store as well. Just download the app, become part of the organization, in trying to champion for climate action. And as we say, together we are the solution to the climate crisis. That's a fact we cannot deny. We are in a crisis, and it calls for a collaborative responsibility by all of us. And we also believers of SDG number 17 that calls for partnerships. We're looking forward to partner with organizations, with institutions like this, to just try to amplify this climate action voice. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate, and congratulations to the launch of the U-Hub, which I believe, it's going a long way to help bridge the information gap, to encourage innovations that are, encourage sustainability. Just yesterday, the Equity Bank Foundation and the International Finance Corporation, they formed a partnership whereby, they've released 19 billion Kenyan money, to foster green innovations. Great. So that's an opportunity for us young people. And that's just to tell you that there's opportunity in the climate world. So let's all come on board and foster climate action. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. And yeah, I think we are coming now to an end of our session. And it is incredible to hear all this energy. And I think one thing I take out of this is that actually through collective action, through partnership, we can make 1 + 1 not equal 2, but equal 3. That's when, by together, we can make actually something much larger and more impactful. I would like to ask our colleagues from abroad to tell us what is that you're taking back home in 2 minutes, 1 minute, what are you taking back home with you? Would you like to start?
Okay. Okay, stand. It's difficult to say something after to listen happy here, but I'd like to say that what I got from here today is that it was great to listen all of you and your work and your awareness and also your what are you doing. And I wonder I can take this to my university to have a meeting like here and have students like you. So thank you very much, And I appreciate a lot this moment.
Thank you very much, Luciana. Rosie, now we want to hear from you. What are you taking back home with you?
Thank you, Alex. First, I'll make a comment and then I'll say what I want to take back. Climate literacy. Yeah, we've been hearing about climate literacy during our discussion now. I like to quote from Nelson Mandela. He said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes where? To his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. And that's where action takes place. And that's where climate literacy will happen. And once everyone's is able to understand, they will be able to also take action, right? And that is climate justice. When all our information gets to every part of the world and every part of our communities. And what I want to take back with me is to take all of you with me to Fiji, if I can, because of the great work that you are doing. And I like to end with a Fijian metaphor, and I know you also like metaphor. The Fijian metaphor is a salu-salu metaphor. A salu-salu is a garland that we wear, and it signifies love. And it's something that we give to other people as a form of appreciation. And salu-salu is made of different beautiful flowers that together gives out a beautiful fragrance. And with the salu-salu, like the headband that Gloria is wearing, with all those little beads, it plays a very important part. Right? If one of the beads falls, what happens to the headband? It'll fall apart. So each and every one of us has a role to play. Young, youth, or an elder, universities, companies, we all have a role to play for climate action, climate justice, and climate literacy to happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Tristan, do you have any final words of wisdom in the end of this wonderful session?
No words of wisdom, but I will say a few things and in terms of next steps. And our wonderful compere, thank you very much for taking us through this, but shared with us that he wasn't quite sure where the tree he planted was. So the first step for me is try and remember where it was. Please, could somebody water it for me? Because I won't be here for a while, and I will come back and visit. And as we all know, trees are symbolic as well as being a real part of what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think for me, three steps. Firstly, solidify the Green Education Hub here, first thing. Secondly, network nationally. I know a lot of you are already doing that. I had fantastic conversations in the tea break. I know you're already active in that. Keep that going. And third one, share your experience internationally. We've had a little taste of that here. It's been fascinating. Go beyond. There are many others who want to hear what you're doing. I've been tweeting a little bit. I've already had replies. Some people have been asking me what you're doing. They want to find out more. There's a lot of interest, and I hope you'll continue that dialogue. And what I'll take away more than anything else from this, I think you've demonstrated, is the need to integrate all parts of the human being, all dimensions of our activity. We've heard about birds, we've heard about trees, languages, art, cultures, mental health. All of these are essential parts, and congratulations on the work you're doing. And I wish you the very best for the success of your hub. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, so I'm handing over to our Master of Ceremony, Dr. Marty Ogola, and thank you very much for your attention. Thanks.
Thank you so much. A better clap for Dr. Alexandre Frediani. I think he has done a fabulous job handling this session, and it was very interesting, listening through this session. I think you all agree with me that this was a very interesting part of the program. I've also learned quite a bit. I didn't know, for example, that we have scouting, for example, in KU, the scouting club, and I've learned quite a bit about the interaction between scouting and the environment. Then there's a big one, bird watching. If you had told me there's a bird watching club in KU, I would have told you no. Then when they came forward, I kept asking myself, so what do they do? Bird watching? They go and sit on a stone and stare at birds or something? But I learned that there's even a methodology for bird watching. And they've gone a step ahead to even document migratory patterns and other behavior. And they've been able to relate this to climate change. I think you're doing a great job bird watching. I'll look for you. I also want to come and watch these birds one of these days. There's a lot to be done there. Thank you very much, all of you who have participated in this last session. I've learned a lot, and it was a very enjoyable session. I think we've come to an end. I don't want to keep you here too much longer. There's an announcement here. I don't see very well. It's just that I don't like to wear specs, by the way. I'm resisting them. They'll spoil my looks. Okay, lunch. Oh, I'm told there's some lunch protocol. Wow, okay. All guests and staff to proceed first upstairs. Then all students to remain seated for arrangement of their lunch by William Ewoy and Rachel. Thank you. Those are the announcements. Dr. Nyerere, I think we've come to the end of this session. I don't know if you have anything to add. From me, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for participating. It was nice meeting you all. I hope to interact with you over lunch. Dr. Nyerere. No? Okay. Okay, we clap for everybody. Thank you for participating. Now, we had already done the vote of thanks, so I don't want to go through that again. But I must thank our guests for finding time to be with us. We are really, really grateful, and we appreciate. We hope that you'll be coming back soon, and that we'll also be coming to the other side soon. I'd like to come to Fiji, I told you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. Rachel, where are you? Rachel, I'm told you're supposed to make an announcement related to lunch. I don't know whether it's praying or just telling us, go and eat, whatever it is.
Okay, good afternoon. How are you? Okay, I just want to make an announcement regarding lunch and protocol. So first we'll have the guests first, then we move to the PRG members, then we move to the others.